Welcome to Thursday, the first day of May, 2025. This Day Weather Podcast brought to you by ConverseCountyTourism.com. Feel the energy of Converse County. Explore Douglas's railroad heritage, Ayers Natural Bridge, and the Jackalope legend. Glen Rock boasts scenic trails, dinosaur history, and small town charm. Plan your visit at ConverseCountyTourism.com. Well, we're going to talk about the drought donut going on right now. Some of you in it, some of you out of it. A few showers and thunderstorms will be found along and east of the divide, as we'll see a moist, unstable atmosphere behind yesterday's front. As we go into the weekend, a warm-up. Temperatures moderate a little bit tomorrow. Today will be a little coolish, but the weekend is when you're going to feel the warm-up. For you areas along and west of the divide, the western slope, you're going to get into some showers and thunderstorms this weekend. Those thunderstorms will make it closer to the divide Sunday and especially Monday. We're still looking at that large 500 millibar cut-off low-pressure system meandering in the west. Where is it going to wobble? Where is it going to go? Because it's going to play a big role in next week's weather. Great shot there of a wet buffalo, but a wet buffalo does not make it a water buffalo. Now, as we take a look at some photos across the region, yesterday's low clouds and shower activity reaching some areas. Rainfall was kind of hit and miss across some areas, more steady in the central and northern areas, as has been the case. When we take a look at the showers and thunderstorms producing not only rain, but look at this beautiful shot out of Belleville, Kansas, of a spectacular rainbow. They must have gotten some rain. Look at all that greenery there. That's good. As we take a look at snow squall activity, classic late April shot there out of southwest Colorado, as snow squalls and snow showers over near the higher terrain with showers and thunderstorms on the plains. Nice shot there from Bighorn, Wyoming. They're looking westward towards the Bighorn Mountains. You can see those moisture-rich clouds, the greening of the grass, wet pavement. Some of you are looking at that say, wow, I wish that was in my neighborhood. But northern Wyoming, as we'll go through some precipitation totals here, really has turned the corner a lot since where we were from summer and fall. Let's take a look at what we call the drought donut here. What I'm showing you is the 30-day total of precipitation across the lower 48 states. Now let's focus basically in the western United States. When you take a look at the brighter, the red colors, the last 30 days is where the heavier precipitation has basically been in this region. So when we take a look at where the drought conditions are, it really is showing up that we're having this donut hole right here that has an east-west axis from southeastern Wyoming across Nebraska into northeastern Colorado. But around the edges, precipitation has been much, much better. Now let's focus in a little bit, and you can really see where we're suffering with severe dryness right next to areas that have picked up a lot of moisture not very far away. So western South Dakota, northern and central areas of Wyoming here, this has been an area that has been just, this area here too, has just been able to catch the systems coming. But look at this hole right here across southeastern Wyoming, parts of northern Colorado, into the panhandle in Nebraska. You're just in a situation here where you're just unlucky, but also dry soil moisture is not helping out the conditions as well. But if you think, especially here in southeastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, parts of northern Colorado, you're snake bit, well, you are, without a doubt. Now, we see this when we take a look at the 90-day trends. So the 90-day trends show that same hole right there, and the 90-day trends show this donut right here, and then the donut hole is in the middle. I've seen this story before. This has happened before. The drought of 2012 really was quite similar to this, where the drought got improvement on the edges, and the middle of the drought is always the last to get the help. And if we expand and pull back a little bit, again, looking at the 90 days, we have these east-west holes right here, also in southeastern Colorado, then parts here of central and north-central areas of New Mexico, then going up here further north. So this is the maddening thing about precipitation in the western high plains and Rockies, is you get islands of wet right next to islands of dry. And what you hope as patterns change, that these islands start to fill in a little bit. So let's hope that that begins happening here in May and as we go into June. And to just kind of go through some areas just to highlight it, this is measured precipitation. What I want you to look at is this column right here, departure from normal, and this column right here, which shows the month to date and then the year to date since January 1st. Lander has since the first of the year, is up 2.11 inches. That's great. That's why it's so green over there. Casper for the year is up 0.3 of an inch. Not bad. And Casper's better than a year ago. Here's right now, this column right here is a year ago. Sheridan, almost a 3-inch, basically 3 inches above average since January 1st. Again, a far cry, a huge turnaround from summer and fall of last year. Even Laramie is ahead by 0.4 of an inch for the year, although a little bit behind last year. But as you go and take a look at Cheyenne, a year ago, 3.7. This year it's an inch less and 0.9 of an inch below average for the year to date. But it's worse if you take a look and look what fell from September to December. So if you look at Scotts Bluff, worse off, almost 1.5 inches. They were at 4.5 inches a year ago. At this time, only 2.42, and a very, very poor month. Going back to Cheyenne, only 0.37 for the month. That's not the record. The record is in 2020, where only 0.2 of an inch of moisture fell in 2020. In southwestern Wyoming, near average around the Evanston area. You get to Rock Springs, Evanston, Green River, it's close to average, maybe just a touch below, but not bad. Denver, again, this goes down into those Front Range areas. Look at where it was a year ago to look at where it is now. So we're definitely seeing the trends. Then you go further east, out of the donut hole. Goodland, Kansas is right on track of where it was a year ago and really close to average since the first of the year. So the precipitation really depends on where you are and where you've been, but it's really been the case of the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. The satellite photo this morning showing yesterday's system going out into the plains, but we have a little bit of energy and moisture with a little bit of a weather disturbance here, a little bit of a weather disturbance hanging on. We've got some front range light rain here this morning, and there's your high pressure that's coming in for the beginning of the weekend. The surface frontal boundary has shifted south, so along this frontal boundary, still some showers here, and then we'll have more active showers and thunderstorms in the Midwest. So this is where we are today. There's going to be a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity associated with this low here. We'll show you that here in a moment. But this high pressure ridge brings a taste of spring. This is where the thunderstorm strike potential is, the lightning strike potential along that upper level low. So northern Arizona, northern New Mexico, southern Colorado, you're going to see some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Here's some weak isolated showers and thunderstorms that will be forming here. And you can see where the precipitation potential will be through tonight. Then for the weekend, this is for Saturday. The high is right on top of the Rockies. So this is the big warm up. Then here comes the low off the west coast. Highly amplified flow. So we've got two systems here that look like twins. One in the Midwest, one along the west coast. Looks like it's going to be a muddy track for the Kentucky Derby. Looks wet there for the Derby on Saturday, while high pressure builds over the Rockies and the western high plains. So a nice warm-up, a big warm-up is coming. This is where we talked about west slope thunderstorms. This is for Saturday afternoon. So as that upper low off the west coast draws in moisture, we're going to have scattered showers and thunderstorms, garden variety showers and thunderstorms after the heat of the day in the Great Basin and areas along and west of the Divide. Maybe a few near the Divide Saturday. Sunday, you can see that they expand eastward. The showers and thunderstorms are a bit more, let's say, numerous, especially on the western slope, but we're starting to see the eastward push of the shower and thunderstorm activity as the upper level low moves in. So here we go, looking at the weather pattern for early next week. By Monday, that upper low is over northwest Arizona. That Midwest upper low is cut off as well, and that's going to wobble around. This is going to complicate things. The dynamics between these two upper level lows cut off from the jet stream wobbling across the lower 48 is going to be a forecast headache. There's no doubt about it, not just here, but across the rest of the nation. Because as we noted earlier this week, upper lows, when they cut off from the jet stream, they wobble. They can have erratic movement. So if we were to put this in motion to show you what happens starting Monday, and this ends Friday, what you notice is a couple of things. First of all, this low gets cut off and stays near the Four Corners area, but weakens over time. The upper level low over the Midwest does eventually get brought back up into the main jet stream level. Now, it does show it weakening, but the circulation is counterclockwise right here, even in its weakened state. So that spinning motion in the upper atmosphere will lead to a drawing of moisture westward into the region throughout the course of all of next week, even though the upper level low weakens. And it really does not start to catch up to the jet stream until Friday and Saturday as it starts to migrate eastward. So when we put this all together and we look at the precipitable water and put it in the motion for the same time period, you can see a lot of green and blue just hangs around for several days. And with the time of year we're in, you get some instability. It's easier to make showers and thunderstorms develop. And if we compare the modeling, again, like we've been doing all week, the models are in good agreement. The European AI version. Then as we get into the GFS, this is all for Monday morning, and the Canadian. So there's good agreement on the placement, but the devil is going to be in the details as that system wobbles. Have yourself a good Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.